Good afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is for you. I'm going to do an archetype reading and tarot reading for today's energies. Today is Wednesday, July 16th. So we're going to look at what are the energies that are coming up today and how can we best face the day and flow with the energy there. So we have the Alchemist card. So this is the Carolyn Mace archetype deck, and we got the Alchemist, and the Rescuer. Let's just do those two. It's good to keep our focus. The Alchemist and the Rescuer. That's really cool. Okay. The light attribute of the Alchemist is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Maybe you've read The Alchemist. Basically, I think what we're doing is alchemizing our shadow so that we can co-create with the divine, or with God, or whatever you want to call it, spirit. The shadow attribute of the Alchemist is misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. Okay, so we want to get into the light. We want to bring it into the light and transform base motives and goals into golden wisdom. The Rescuer light attributes provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. And the shadow attributes assume that the rescued will reciprocate and keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, so I am actually moving from being a therapist to a coach. And part of the reason that I wanted to do that, I feel like I've been evolving in that anyway. But I have to be able to let go of my rescuer. And I've been a rescuer since probably birth. Probably like very shortly after birth. Because in my family, I saw my parents, I saw that they loved each other, but the way that they interacted with each other was just so mean and hurtful. And so I didn't understand that, and I wanted to help them both. And so I became a marriage and family therapist eventually, but I've always just been interested in relationships and how to be more loving, especially in a family. Like, it seems like in a family, you can, like, people are nice to everyone else, but they come back and they're just so mean to each other. And I have never I've never understood it. But I actually have participated in it and then been the same way, like when I'm angry, lashing out. So I feel like I'm really wanting to know how to not do that, because it creates scapegoats too in families. So how can we be loving to ourselves? This is essentially what it's helped me learn. How to be loving to yourself and love others. So how to be free and in connection, which I just did a video on. But let's just look at what's coming up today in the cards. This is the messages from the guides, James von Prague. I've been really liking this one. Okay. And later today I'm going to be doing a coaching session. It'll be like I will be coached in, and I'm going to work with my therapist and my coach sides. So I'm going to have, my coach is going to work with my therapist and my coach and see how they interact with each other. And what is it about fixing or rescuing that I feel so drawn to? Like, why do I feel the need to rescue? So maybe we'll get some answers through the cards today. My nose tickles. Somebody said that means somebody's thinking of you. I heard before that it means you're going to get in a fight. Hopefully it doesn't mean that. Okay. So what are the messages from the guides? Oops. Ooh. Take responsibility for your actions and let go of ego. Okay. Good ones. So the ego could be a little bit of the rescuer in the shadow side, assuming the rescued will reciprocate and also keeping the rescued one needy, wanting to feel needed. Okay. I think we all want to feel needed in some way, but there's also a shadow side to that. And I am interested in exploring that because I want to know what's healthy for me and for others. Okay, so now I'm going to get cards from the Light Seers Tarot. Oh, but I didn't read you from the messages from the guides. Take responsibility for your actions. Your thoughts, words, and deeds create energy, and they all have consequences. It is a law of physics that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As you look at this card, your guides want you to understand that it is necessary for you to accept ownership of that action. You might consider that thoughts are not technically considered action, that they are not as powerful as words and deeds, but you would be mistaken. Thoughts may be more powerful, for they are the creator of words and deeds. You are creating an atmosphere and placing it into the universe. Depending on the thought, you can create an imbalance if what you send forth is not in harmony with the natural state of love and compassion of which you are made. It is a human tendency to believe that just because you cannot see something, it must not exist. But that is a foible of the human experience. If this card appears in your spread, examine your current relationships and see if an action that you have initiated has created an imbalance. If so, take ownership of it, apologize, and make amends. The spiritual law of cause and effect will produce a karmic debt that will have to be paid eventually. It's best to pay it now. Okay, so when I hear that, I think of some of the things that I have thought and maybe even said about my past relationship. I'm working on forgiveness. And I'm working on understanding and integrating. So in my past relationship, well, I don't want to say too much about it because I will get caught in that. I prefer to think about it as masculine and feminine woundedness. These wounds that we have received through our culture, through society, through our families, that we need to focus on healing, recognizing, accepting, and healing. Because when we talk about narcissism, it just seems like I know that when you've been in a narcissistic relationship, it's very harmful. It's very harmful to your spirit, to yourself, to your psyche. And so I know that it takes a lot to recover from that. But when we talk about narcissism, it just feels very like that's bad, that's evil. And there are some things about it that are very harmful. But I think there might be better ways to talk about it so that we don't hurt each other. So I prefer to talk about it as woundedness in the masculine and woundedness in the feminine, and focus on the healing of that. But I don't always talk about it that way, and sometimes I say things that maybe are harmful because of my own experience of being a victim of that abuse. And so it's a struggle sometimes, taking responsibility and healing. And not blaming and talking bad about somebody who's hurt you. And maybe continuing to hurt you. Okay, so that leads us to let go of the ego. So a major lesson in this human school is to learn to separate the ego self from the true self. In the illusionary reality of the physical world, the consciousness of your higher self, which deals only in all, is filtered through the human brain, and thoughts are focused on I. The human identifies itself by the body you are in, your physical surroundings, the material objects you acquire, and how you are perceived by others. Every emotional thought is seen from your point of view. Your guides and your higher self have chosen this earth dimension so that you can feel what it is like to manifest the energy of love and compassion while you are experiencing the emotions of isolation and disconnectedness. See how that just fit right in? It is this great divide between the ego self and the higher self that causes sorrow and misery in this dimension. With this card, your guides would like to remind you that your main objective during physical incarnation is to view all things as part of yourself. When you are able to open yourself up to an awareness outside of the ego, you are able to see the bigger perspective of your being, and only then, through this shift, can you experience true joy and happiness. Okay. So I woke up this morning around 4 in the morning to this experience in my heart of that just opening and connecting to everything. And it was a really, really nice experience. I've had that experience in another way at one point when I was praying, when I was maybe about 20 years ago. But it was a different sort of experience. It was like my crown chakra opened up and I connected to everything. My spirit connected to everything, and I was everything. I was everything. This one was a little bit different. It was in my heart, and it was the experience of my heart and love connecting everything. So it was, but it reminded me of that experience that I had about 20 years ago or more. Okay, so let's see what we get from the Light Seers Tarot. Whoa. I'm going to put all those back because there's too many and just see. I'm just going to see if the same ones come out later. Too many, too many. Okay, let's see. Now we got one. It is one of the ones that we got before. It's the Five of Pentacles, but it was upside down. And if you look at the Five of Pentacles, well, I'll show it to you right side up. She's not looking so good. She's looking pretty down in the dumps. But there's a key near her and a door and a lock. So she has the key. She has the ability to access what she's looking for. And pentacles are like, that's an earth sign. So it's what you see here on earth. It is more having to do with the ego and your human experience. And 5 is the number of change. So maybe looking for something to change. And then we have the Hanged Man. Ooh. And the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands was upside down too. So we'll read both the shadow and the light side of those. So 5 of Pentacles. The Three of Wands is waiting for her ships to come in. And the Hanged Man is sort of that suspended energy of like waiting and maybe perhaps surrender. But we'll see what we get from that. Oh, I'm in this excited energy today. Sort of a breathless energy. Financial or health difficulties, feeling left out or ostracized, worrying about your security, a chance to clear energy blockages. Okay, I like a chance to clear energy blockages. Maybe by taking responsibility for your actions. Taking responsibility for my actions. Also, the shadow side, so this was upside down, so we're going to read the shadow side. Scarcity mindset, feeling helpless, victimhood, inability to move ahead, fear and isolation. So that is about taking responsibility for your actions. Fear and isolation, resistance to positivity, feelings of low self-worth that keep you from participating in prosperity. A light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. I had a thought about that and then I forgot. Doors that activate magical opportunities are always opening for me. That's the affirmation. Okay. So maybe you have been feeling a little stuck or in victimhood, but you can turn that around. And maybe you've been looking for a rescuer. Maybe you think you need rescuing and that's why you rescue others. And I'm talking to myself. The Hanged Man. Surrendering to the will of the cosmos, an intentional pause, reflection, letting go, embracing the new, realigning with your heart and purpose. So that fit with my waking up in my heart. Realigning with my heart and purpose, new wisdom found, spiritual teachings, sacrifice, enlightenment. Okay. It's hard to take responsibility for our actions sometimes when they have led us to a place that we're not liking, that we're not happy with. Especially when we've worked really hard or tried really hard. But perhaps, and this is what I'm hoping, we don't have to work so hard to be loved or to receive what we're looking for. This is a new way of being, and it means letting go of your old way of being. So more surrender, surrendering to the will of the divine. Accepting, acknowledging, and taking responsibility for where you've gotten, and then surrendering. So you're basically saying, okay, my way didn't work. Please show me your way. God, Spirit. I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos, which is actually what I have found. Because I got to a point in my life where I realized my marriage wasn't working and I had to get a divorce, and I'm also a marriage and family therapist, so I was just like a failure on every level. And I was really like, okay, help, because I've done everything that I possibly can, and clearly this didn't work, so I need help, God. And God helped me. God walked with me. God helped me to get up and stand in my responsibility, stand in my power, make choices for myself, love myself, honor myself, speak up for myself, take care of myself. And God helped me find a new partner who honors my truth and I'm able to be free with. So this is the path. 3 of Wands. Okay, 3 of Wands. Or this is a path. This is a path. Is it your path? Only you really know, but hopefully this is helpful for you, and And you can learn from my mistakes. 3 of Wands. 3 is a number of expansion. Okay, this one was upside down, so I'll read the light and the shadow for it. So 3 of Wands, energy manifested, waiting for the result of your effort, the arrival of opportunities, finally understanding your ambitions, continuous improvement and moving in the right direction, progress. Cool. I am expectant and optimistic, and I know that my dream is on the way. And that is exactly how I am feeling now. I know that. So it's this excitement and anticipation of what's to come. This shadow side is not dreaming big enough, fear coming up to block your movement and delays. Ooh, I felt that in my heart too, a little fear. So watch for the sign that your dream is on its way, and know that it is, that you have been doing the work. Or if you haven't been doing the work, you probably know what it is you need to do. So have courage to listen to your spirit. I'm just going to read you something from Melody Beatty, the author of The Language of Letting Go. She does a lot of work on codependence. And I believe that that's what's happening right now. A lot of us were in relationships of codependency, and you could call them trauma bonds, a lot of them. We're moving out of that into this new relationship, it's an evolution of relationships. It's a higher love where spirit is involved, your spirit, God, and you get to be free and honor your truth. And you get to co-create. So it's this new way of relating, new relationship. So, but she did a lot of work on codependency, and this is her like daily meditations on the path to freeing your soul. I'm not going to read the one for today, which is July 16th, because that one is about going a little further, even when we going past our fear, past our uncertainty, past the bend we can't see beyond. And I don't want to read that one. Sometimes we do need to do that. But I went way, like I spent 25 years, and I think like sometimes we go too far beyond, and we're pushing ourselves and we're abandoning ourselves to be in relationships. So while that could be helpful for some people, I like this one better. It was the one for yesterday. It's called Delight in Yourself. Stop picking on yourself, worrying if you're good enough, wondering what people will see if you let them see your heart. This is what they'll see. That you are a lovable and delightful soul, a beautiful child of God. Be yourself and accept yourself, warts, waistline, and all. You don't have to sit up that straight, be that proper, or fear what others may see. That's another thing. When my new love came in, it was from a place that I didn't expect it. It was like in a bar where I had a drink, or maybe more than a drink, maybe 1 or 2 drinks or 3 drinks. And my partner smokes. And I was thinking I shouldn't be in this environment. I should be healthier. I should stop drinking. I should stop doing this. And yes, we all should move towards health. That would be good for us. That would be loving for us. But you are loved exactly as you are right now. That is what I learned, and I know it's true. So it's true for me, and it's true for you. Let your imperfections show. I show them all the time on my channel. And I was telling my sister and somebody else how I watched a reel that said that if you're over 50, you can just do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to. You could burp, you could yawn, like you could make mistakes, and you don't have to worry about it. So I'm embracing that. Share them. Love yourself anyway. Relax and be who you are. When you do that, your life will be fun and a joyful gift to others. People who comfortably accept who they are, both their flaws and their good points, are healing, delightful, and fun to be around. Look at any work of nature, a canyon, a flower, a bird, a mountain, or a forest trail. Where does the perfection begin and imperfection end? It's the combination that makes a perfect scene. So it is with you. It's our light and our shadow. It's what we struggle with and what we overcome. It's our sadness and our pain and our joy and our happiness. Relax, lighten up, let go of shame and fear. The whole picture is perfect and perfectly okay. That's all.